So I was having dinner the other day here in Munich, and I had a very nice party around the table, but I was kind of eavesdropping the table next to me. It's a habit, but I'm honest about it, so maybe it's okay. And this American girl was explaining to her friend what is s'mores. Do you know what s'mores is? Yeah. You know, like the lovely cookie sandwich with, you do marshmallow on fire with the chocolate. I can add a few other really cool stuff to it, but I'm not sure it's legal in Europe. So she was explaining, and she told her, s'mores is when we go with my father to the camp, and we do this, and the fire is crackling, and she kept talking, and I was like waiting to hear what s'mores is. And I was like, girl, cookie, chocolate, marshmallow. And it took her a very long time, and I'm not even sure that she actually got the unique recipe right, but she told it in such a fascinating way that her friend told her, I have to try this. And this is exactly what I want to talk about today, how today, or now more than ever, experiences matter more. And what does that mean? It means that we're not as end result or product or object oriented as we used to. Something about the process, about the journey, the way to get there, the experience makes it different. Now, why is that? I'm not a doctor yet, but I do have a diagnosis, and I think that me and you have something that is called creative ADHD. Well, you're all creative, so of course you have it, but also normal people, not like us, have it as well. And this creative ADHD is caused by this world today that we get this constant input. Like through this morning, I was already on Facebook, LinkedIn, Messenger, back to Facebook, checked something on the Instagram, posted 5 things, took 2 of them quite offensive off. But it was like a really busy day, and so much information already went through my mind. And how can I grab my attention? How can I do something deeper that will resonate and will stay? And at the same time, everything is already here and available. Once we didn't need a lot of work to sell something, not even an object, but even something between 2 people. But today, everything is so saturated. If I want to buy a chair today, I Google chair near me, and it tells me where it is, and I go and can buy a chair. But there's no reason why I'll buy one chair and not the other. But if I have a different experience, a different brand experience, a different story to it, that can evoke that kind of experience that we need. Now, I'm in the business of experience, and I wanted to see what can I do different. Because a good experience is an experience that taps into sensorial stimulation as well as it triggers emotion. But how can we do that along the other very conventional ways? Well, something quite simple and quite direct is food. You know, there's only 2 activities that human beings do that use all our senses at once, which is eating and having sex. Now, I do have a talk about the sex part, but it's not for today. It's too early, it's only after 8 we talk about those subjects. But food actually uses all your senses at once. So everybody's talking about triggering your emotions. Just have a bite of something, and you're done. So no, it's not that simple. And I do want to give you today a taste of some of the building blocks that we use to create experiences with food. Because, for example, the first building block would be, have you ever looked at food? Beautiful food, because when I say food, what goes through your mind? You instinctively think, I'm guessing, maybe what you had for lunch, or your favorite food, or something you saw on Instagram earlier. But when I say looking at food, I'm not referring to this beautiful plating of a Michelin star chef, or a very elaborate food production. No, I'm talking about when is the last time you went to the supermarket and stared at some fruit. Well, maybe you shouldn't, maybe it could be a bit odd. But it is kind of interesting to think about that. Because for me, I had a very interesting encounter, which happened a lot of times since, with a strawberry. Strawberry is one of the best designed fruits that there exist in the world. I don't know who designed it, but it's perfect. The color is striking red, so passionate. The shape, conical. It has a green handle at the base. It fits your mouth perfectly. And I think there doesn't exist a non-sexy way to eat a strawberry. You can really fight it. Doesn't matter what you do. you're all sexed up. It's like, I'm sorry? Perfect design. Like, I don't know who has the royalties for that, but he's a lucky guy. Or girl, probably. Now, I continued this journey of looking into how food and beauty looks, where I had kind of like this challenge to myself to start to explore the aesthetics, the ornamental value of food without going into a Michelin star restaurant. So everything I used in this project just came from the supermarket. And we wanted to create a series of objects, of environments, of furniture that celebrate just the beauty and aesthetics of simple ingredients. Creating like these artistic photos that also come with, are showcasing actually ceramic tableware that we created, a bit unorthodox, but this also went into like the food itself. We had a flash dance moment with profiteroles, very exclusive. They were frozen from the supermarket. We defrosted and we put the powdered sugar, but it didn't take a lot. And I promise you, if you would have this like probably €2.50 bunch worth of profiteroles, it would be some of the best you've ever had in your life if you would take it from this set. We also did jewelry that showcases food. Because the way you present food, the way you work with it, there's just so much of it, just if you look at this as pure lines of beauty. Another way that we use it, and the second building block, would be how food taps into memory. Just think about when you go next to a bakery and you smell like chocolate chip cookies being baked, and you have this smell that reminds you of like visiting your grandmother in the winter, and you're baking these cookies together. I have a personal story not about cookies, but about something a bit more interesting. It's called my Kinder illusion. And I'm talking about Kinder, not child in German, but actually the Kinder egg. And around 10 years ago, I was traveling, I was having a road trip with my partner in Spain. We were madly in love, and it was like this amazing, exciting trip. And we got to this village in the northern part of Costa Brava called Roses, and it was a bit rainy, and we went like in this alley through a back door to an ice cream parlor, and I had their Kinder ice cream, and it was the best thing I've ever had in my life. It was amazing. And through the years, a lot of time when I'm interviewed, people ask me, given your job, what is the best food you've ever had? What's your favorite dish? And it's kind of difficult to choose, so this was my safe bet always. And I used to tell, there's like this small village on the northern coast, and they have this ice cream, which is phenomenal. I was there a couple of years ago, and I was kept looking for the store, and I couldn't find it. And I saw one place that sold ice cream, because they had one of those big plastic ones outside, and they had a lot of those like touristic magnets for sale. And I said, well, it can't be that one, so I kept going. And then I asked somebody else in the street, he said, no, that's the only place that sells ice cream here since forever. So I went inside, and in the back they did have a bigger fridge for ice cream, and they did have Kinder ice cream. And I said, okay, just I didn't remember the place. And I tasted the ice cream again, and it was horrible. It had it was artificial and an aftertaste, but the occasion I was there, so in love, kept it going for me as the best thing I've ever had in my life. We tapped into that in a project for a design exhibition about time, where we created time traveling through sensorial stimulation. And we didn't create this, but what we did create is we created a series. I'm not touching. We created a series of potions, a series of elixirs that each one of them, we worked with an art historian, or a food historian, to find eras in time where these ingredients existed, and we created drinks that when you drink them, you can taste an era. Instead of just opening a history book and seeing it, you can actually feel it. Then if you think about desirability, which is our third building block, you think about, especially with food, and creating an experience with food about desirability. I guess instinctively most of you would think about something like caviar, or, I don't know, some kind of gourmet food, or a Wago steak. But I'm here to tell you that we can do it for very cheap, because it's not about that. It's about how you can take a simple 99-cent egg for Easter, chocolate egg for Easter, and elevate it through changing the context, changing the way it's presented. I can even tell you something that happened to me a few weeks ago. I like chocolate. I'll be honest, I love chocolate, and I don't discriminate. Like, I eat really, really good, high-quality chocolate, and I eat horrible chocolate. So I also need to do some diets sometimes because of that. It might be the case during that week, and I was walking down the supermarket and seeing all these chocolates next to me and said, okay, I don't need that, I can always get that. And I said, oh, I stopped, because I found, are you ready? This. Now, this is M&M's, which you know, and there's peanut, but there's also hazelnut. Like, it's insane, they have hazelnut. And I said, okay, so it's a new product? No, it's limited edition. I had to get it because they probably just made a few millions of these. And if I don't get it right now, I won't be able to have it. So I got, well, I already had like it was a few weeks ago, but every time I go there, it works on me. Today, during breakfast in the hotel, I was one of those weird people who puts food in his pockets, because I wanted to show you something. This piece of beauty, blueberry, can be elevated, and I can tell you, I can sell this for you for a very high amount of money just by changing the way it's presented to you. So it's not just like in this small bag, a bit squished in my pocket, but if I would serve you this blueberry like this. So just about changing the context, we changed all the way. Nice. We changed all the way you see it, and probably if I would put like a price tag here of 10 euros, somebody would say, oh, I wonder why is that? Well, it's presented so nice. Maybe it's from the museum, like the Blueberry Museum, like nice. Now, this is kind of like talking about experiences, and I feel that it's not fair to talk about experience without giving you an experience, and that's why we have those envelopes for you. Because we're going to try to do something here that we've never done before, and don't open them. Don't open, because it says do not open until instructed, and I didn't instruct that. Hold them with your left hand. That's the creative side, right? So with your left hand. You don't have to hold them up yet. And I know you're all curious, and I hope, well, probably some of you peeked, but that's life. Kind of curious what's inside. So this experience is called Show Your Love. And I can already tell you what's inside. It's this. Is it a lollipop, or if you're from the UK, you might call it a sucker? They do. I kind of like it. But no, this thing is love. And even more, I can show you what's inside exactly. This is inside. It's this sucker that actually has this wonderful exclusive sugar inside, 79 euro cents. And I'm gonna talk to you about how I made this into this. I'm gonna show you how we can create an amazing experience just with a pound of sugar. And we're all having the most. Okay, let's start it going on. First, let's get some like sensory stimulation. So if you're holding it like this with the sticker in the front and the back to you, just kind of like sniff the back of the envelope. There's like a slight flowery smell in there. That's because these lollipops, these suckers, have a lot of flowers. These are flowers that we brought from Paris. It's roses, lilac, jasmine flowers. They're crystallized in very fine sugar. And the whole candy itself is like this like light caramel, and you also have like an extract of organic food coloring, like a very bloody red. So maybe just a hint of it inside. Okay, now just follow instructions. I'll demonstrate. So it's like a live act. Okay, now we're opening it. Yeah. You can take out what's inside. Don't open the wrapper yet. So you all have your lollipop. You can see what's written on it, and you can read with me. This little sucker is love. not always perfect, on a spectrum between sweet to too sweet, with some unknown notes along the way. Love is spring in Paris, which is true. It's bad and good for you at the same time, like the sugar. Sometimes it makes your heart pump faster, and sometimes it just bleeds. Now, what I didn't tell you about this marvelous creation is what it does. This is a very scientific device, allegedly, that checks love intensity. The way it does that is we have the bloody area, which will paint your tongue red. Now, the harder you suck on it, the redder your tongue will be. The more intense the red is, the more intense your love. It's very simple. I think I can put that into academia and it can work as a scientific research. So we're going to do that, but just before we do that, it's expressing love. So you need to think about somebody that you love. It can be something that you love. I love my iPhone. Love my spouse, love my iPhone. Most of the time my spouse more. But iPhone is also quite nice. Think about something, about someone. Maybe he's here, maybe she is here. And now, just to get you in the mood, I'm going to put on some music. Feel free to open it gently. Maybe you want to tear it more loudly. I don't know what kind of love you're into. And now that you got it out, yeah, let's have most of it in their hand, just suck away. Show someone you love them. Working? I'm madly in love. It's like a Beyonce moment. And now that I've got you all red-tongued and orally busy, I just want to leave you with this. Food can be much more than this, calories and energy. Food has so much context, so much emotion, so much inspiration in it that can create really powerful experiences. Even something as crazy as 700 people sucking together and showing their love. Thank you.